We're gonna see. I don't know. It says it might be some kind of error on the Instagram part, which would totally defeat. Let's see.
That sucks.
I know. Hitting the, oh no, it's working.
It's
Ah,
working.
technology.
Yay. Is that us? Yeah. Woohoo.
Because it said there was an error, and I was like, oh man. All right. Let's see here. I love this typewriter so much.
I'm one of those people that loves the keys that go clickety clack.
Yeah, Dana got me one last Christmas that's like an old school with the round keys, like an old
Ooh, I
school
love that.
typewriter. Oh my god,
So great.
it is so cool. I hope you have some bad screenwriting advice for me.
I don't know if I have bad screenwriting advice, but there is definitely something I want to talk about.
Oh, sweet, awesome. I'm game for
Yeah.
whatever. Sweet. All right, it's 2:00. All right, welcome to the show, episode 302. I'm here with my bestie Christy Lee. Thanks for
Woohoo!
being with me.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be back. Sorry I was gone. I was very sick.
Ah,
But
that's
I'm back.
okay. I'm glad you're feeling better. COVID is no joke. You'd think after 4 years or whatever it would be easier to take, but it still knocks you out, man.
Oh, yeah, it's still just a bugger.
All right. So I watched Sisu Road to Revenge last
I'm
night.
so excited to talk about this or hear your take on it.
I was not expecting a Norwegian Fury Road because that's really what we are looking at. And I was like,
Pretty
oh, this is
much.
clever. I like this.
Yeah.
This is fun. It's preposterous, the insane things this guy's doing, and physics don't exist. But
Yes.
it is a lot of fun. I really did enjoy the film.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I love the first one. The first one
Oh,
is
man.
probably hands down one of my favorites in the last few years. But what I really liked about this second one that I was worried about was you get into that sequel level
Yeah.
and you feel like, wow, they're just going to go way too big and try to do way too much. And this one went big and like went up a notch, but not in the way that I thought it would, where it still kept the same formula and really the same kind of structure that it did for the first one, but they just made it a lot more colorful and, like you said, a lot more just wacky. And it was so much fun. And I'm so glad because I was worried like, oh, they're going to go to all these locations and they're going to do all
Yeah.
these things. And it was like they followed the same exact trajectory they did for the first one. And I feel like that's the best way to, recreate success from a first one is just don't stray from the formula that you used on that one. And
Yeah.
I like the second one.
No, I agree. It's such a difficult needle to thread there because you have created this expectation of, Norwegian John Wick, essentially finished John
Mhm.
Wick, and silent protagonist, which I think is so cool because that's so difficult to pull off. But this actor is just the way he can emote and his facial bone structure, like the way he looks at the camera, it's very powerful. So it works. He's
Mhm.
communicating what he's going through. And that first one was so killer with, he's a prospector, he's all alone. You don't even know that he doesn't have a family, really. And he's just
Right.
got this
Yeah.
gold. This is his only possession. So then we up the stakes with the second one, where yes, let's keep it so that he still has cargo to haul, but let's actually make it personal. So then once
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
realize it's the house that his family that he raised his family in, and they were dead, and he wants to
Mhm.
haul that back to his new farm, you start going,
Mhm.
"Oh, wow, this is great." It's got a lot more emotional depth. Still
Right.
matches up with the plot we had from the original, hitting all those beats. But now he's using this cargo as a weapon, which I thought was hilarious.
Oh, I thought it was fantastic, and I knew within the first few seconds when he was labeling his
Yeah,
little logs and numbering them, I turned to my friend Tom that I was sitting next to, and I was like, "Okay, so that's the gold this time." And Tom's
yeah,
like, "Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, that totally makes
absolutely.
sense." And it just yeah, it was adding that next level,
Hmm.
again, where you're upping the stakes. I love that you use that phrase because I think that kinda gets lost in translation sometimes with
And
a
you
lot of these stories.
you bring in Stephen Lang, who's an absolute
Right,
unrepentant
exactly.
villain. So, he's just licking his chops at that role, talking about cutting
Yeah.
up children with a shovel. You're like, "Oh my god, we can't make this guy any more evil than he is."
I know, it was
Uh,
just, like, perfection on screen.
yeah, but it just absolute lunacy. Like, it was crazy. There's a scene where the cargo is the lumber from his home, and he ends up in, the water, and then next scene, he's turned that into a raft, and I'm like, "Come on, guys." It's like, absolutely it's absolutely ridiculous. I'm on board with it. I did enjoy the
Yeah,
film.
I did. Enjoyed the film, and I think the most tension moment for me was the dog. It's
Oh,
always
yeah,
the
oh,
dog.
is the dog drowning? Is the dog okay? I was
Uh,
100% with you. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I literally in the theater was like, "But where's the dog? But where is the dog?" And then my friends were like, The dog went up to the surface," and I'm like, "I don't see the dog." I just
Yeah, I'm
was,
with
like,
you.
freaking out about the dog.
Yeah, my wife had to, like, stop watching until we knew the dog was okay. So, I totally
Exactly.
get it. Yeah, in the meantime, our essential character is pushing a bullet out of his cheek, and,
Exactly.
we don't care about that, but is the dog okay? It's so
Is the dog
funny.
okay?
Yeah,
That's yep,
yeah.
that's the most important thing.
Can I ask you, did you watch, Welcome to Derry? Did you watch that?
I have no, so I don't have, HBO Max or Max or whatever it's called.
Okay.
So I haven't gotten to watch this like the episodes, but I have gone through and kind of done some research and watched some clips.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested to have you discuss it because
It's
I
incredible. It's
I
I'm
feel like
I'm
it's
not a
really
horror
good.
guy. So here's the
Yeah.
thing with doing horror on television, they don't have to worry about an R rating. So they can go as crazy and wild as their minds want. And they
Mhm.
did in this show. I mean, there was some scenes in Welcome to Derry where I'm like, this is insane. She's trying to cut her eye off. Like, I mean, it's absolutely nuts. That being said, I I feel like this for me was like a perfect season.
Mhm.
Like, I got
Okay.
so much closure for this show. I had an emotional response at the very end of the season, at the very end of that last episode. One of the characters ends up coming back, and I wept. I was like, "Wow, this is so powerful. It's so strong and visceral." And the story, it's a fantastic show that can cause that kind of an emotional response in its audience. I'm not the only one from horror
Yeah.
on top of it.
Mhm.
And they said that they renewed it for two. And they are probably going to renew it for season 2 and 3. The showrunners know where they want to go with it. I can be honest with you. I don't want any more of it. I really feel like this
Oh.
show, I think it encapsulated everything it needed to say, especially with the 2 films. It all came
Mhm.
to a nice kind of close, and I don't want any more. Like, I would hate to see a season 2 and 3 come out and it's just like they're okay, because this was a fantastic show. Like, you'll watch it and you'll be texting me.
Oh, g yeah, I mean, it's, like, really leading me to wanna do it just because, A, love I love it in general, like, I love the book and I love the original movie,
Yeah.
and then thought the recent remakes were pretty good. Um, but my question is how do you feel I mean, because it was so good, you're saying, but how do you feel in terms of it being this it's a prequel essentially, right? And
Yeah.
so how do you feel like it does in terms of the setup of where we go and the direction we go, where we know we end up in the movies?
It all ties together, which is so cool. Like, the filmmaker and the writers who were coming up with this, they really knew where they wanted to go to explore Pennywise.
Mhm.
And so that's what we get. We get a deeper exploration of Pennywise, which is what brought Skarsgård back. He came back to it because of that. Like he wasn't going to,
Mhm.
but he wanted to, learn more about Bob Gray and kind of embody that. And so I think that's great. So, using Pennywise as kind of the pseudo central character makes sense to me. But it does come to a really nice
Mhm.
resolution as they kind of explore how these characters relate to the other characters in the film, and then even bring in
Okay.
staples like Doc from The Shining, the chef who was in The
Oh.
Shining. Like, he's in the show,
Oh.
the
Oh,
younger
no
version
way.
of it. Yeah, and they have a standoff. I mean, it's so cool. Like, it's just yeah. I really recommend you watch it,
Interesting.
and I don't want more.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? But I was like that with The
No,
Walking
I
Dead too.
yeah, no, I think that I mean, I felt that way about The Mandalorian. I felt season 1 and 2 were like, "Here's the story, and there you go," and I liked it, and it was good, and it ended where I wanted it to at the end of season 2, and I didn't want any more. I don't like,
Yeah,
"Okay, we're done. We've told that story," and I feel like
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a fear that you wanna just kind of overtell
Mhm.
and
Or just
just go
exploit.
to yeah, or exploit, exactly, and
Yeah.
what's the purpose if you're not really serving, like, the heart and the element of the
Yeah.
actual narrative of the story you're trying to tell,
Like in
so
The Walking Dead, I think it was like season 4 or 5, they make it to this town, and it's like a safe, peaceful town, and the town
mhm,
seems pretty normal, and then, like, that's the act out. I was like, "I'm good, I'm out, right? I'm done."
right.
They made it in my mind, they all retire there, and then I guess a season later, they get killed with baseball bats. I was like, "Well, I'm glad I stopped." Like, I don't want any more. Um, do you have any bad screenwriting advice for me, or do you wanna talk industry stuff right now?
Well, okay, so I want this is like industry meets, like, interesting screenwriting advice because it has come
Okay,
up in the last week or so. Even last night, we were at a little holiday party talking about something, and it kind of came up, and it was this idea of what they're doing now with a lot of whether it's streaming content or even kind of this route that they're doing with verticals. But somebody mentioned the fact that they were like, "Well, I read this really interesting article talking about how writing styles are changing a lot on these shows and some of these streaming, content pieces,
sure.
where it's now shifted and it's more tell and don't show."
Yeah,
Because we're starting to, like, morph into this second screen
sure.
lifestyle and mentality, and, they're like, what do you think about that?" And I'm like, "Well, the natural ingrained screenwriter in me, it, like, wants me I wanna die, my soul wants to die, but
Yeah,
that is where we're going, that's the trajectory we're going," and then I thought and was watching a few things last night, and I'm like, "They're spot on," like, where I'm watching these characters tell me things on the screen that I already know and see and understand, and I just thought to myself, where do we think this is going? Where is
yeah,
this now shifting to this tell don't show because people are so on the go and they're walking around and they've got their TV on, but they're not paying attention. So you're having to tell them what's happening. How do we feel about that as screenwriters? How do I feel about that as a screenwriter?
I mean, I've heard anecdotal stories, right? That
Mhm.
writers turned in a script and it was turned away from a streamer because it wasn't allowing for the second screen experience while they're quote watching the show. I
That's
mean, so
crazy.
it it to me reminds me of the old soaps, right? The old soaps were made to be that uh, expositional because they were made for stay-at-home moms who were taking care of kids and cleaning the
Mhm.
house and making dinner. I mean, so that's why everything is very limited supplies and it's all very expositional. And
Yeah.
I think it's kind of going back to those days. So I don't think this is a new thing. I think this is something that's existed that is finding its way more into streamers instead of like a serialized soap opera. We're
Mhm.
getting more films requesting that. Do I think that's where all of screenwriting is heading and that's where all of films are going? No. Do I think there is a niche that wants it? Yes. And so it's frustrating. You want to be able to tell the story how you want to tell the story, but as writers, we take notes, right? And if we want to
Mhm.
keep making stuff and getting stuff sold, then it's like, what does this streamer want? Does this streamer want like a real like screenplay, or do they just want talking heads? And if that's what they want, and then that's what we make.
Yeah, I mean, that's my thought is, like the writer you were just kind of talking about, the example you were just talking about, when you get those notes back, what is the approach? I mean, I think, if I got that note back, how would I move
Oh
forward
man.
in fixing the script? Like, what do I do? Am I going in and like literally writing dialogue that is taking the
Yeah.
place of the action I've set up in the scene? Like, I just feel like, yeah, there's just a whole new kind of technique and part of the craft that we would have to learn in order to be able to do that.
I know it feels like when you step back from it and someone asks you to do that, it feels like, because I've had this happen to me. It feels like you're asking me to make my script dumber.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a hard note to get, but talking to the producer, they're like, "Listen, Jeffrey, this is for a very specific demographic that
Mhm.
needs they have this kind of attention. This is what we're marketing for. We're not trying to win an Oscar, right? We're
Right.
trying to sell this to the streamer, and this is what I need. So either you can do this or you can't." And so then it comes on, no, no, I mean, I can take locations out and I can add more exposition and I
Sure.
can simplify the plot. I can do all of that stuff. It doesn't feel good, but what I try and do is I try and look at that challenge. How do I
Mhm.
challenge myself to do that? And that's where I can kind of find the fun in it. It's like, how do I make this without making it dumber, but
Yes.
making it a little bit more simpler, but still interesting with the dialogue and capturing the audience and not just phoning it in. So if you can find that challenge in the note and step up to it, that's what I would recommend.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good advice because I thought to myself, like, "What how would I do that approach?" But you're right, it is challenging. It would be a challenge for sure. A
She's like,
hard challenge.
how do I make this not sound like a dumb script and still send no, I get it. I'm
Yeah.
100% with you. It's
Oh, yeah.
frustrating, but
Mhm.
if that's not what you don't want to do, then you don't have to go for those streamers or those producers who are looking for that. You can do a little bit something more traditional, something more uh, uh, feature, theatrical release, high drama type of thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's what you want that you should be trying to get made,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about Paramount, WB, and Netflix because it's getting weird.
It is getting weird, right?
It is. So Paramount, Netflix put the bid in for $80 billion, which I still can't understand that that's so much money. And then
No, my
Paramount's like,
brain just
I'll top you with $108 billion, which was like, that's even crazier. So then
Mhm.
Netflix, sorry. So then Warner Brothers said, um, we don't like the Paramount deal. We want Netflix because it's guaranteed money. The Paramount deal is kind of fishy. Okay. So it advises its stockholders don't vote for it. All right, cool. So then Paramount says, "But wait, there's more." And so
Yeah,
they
there's
have
more.
they have more cash to give, even though Jared Kushner's firm, it sounds like, has taken a step back, which makes me then wonder where all of the other money is going to go.
Yeah.
Now, the Trump presidency is stating that the Netflix Warner Brothers deal is not solid and that it won't pass the DOJ, which I don't think the DOJ has anything to do with mergers. Isn't it the FCC?
Yes, that would fall
Um,
under definitely the FCC.
yeah, but he's stating the DOJ won't allow Netflix to buy Warner Brothers. So I don't even know what to say about that. And then Paramount's bringing more money. So, I
Right.
mean, I'm hoping it all falls through and Warner Brothers just stays Warner Brothers, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but if they're at the spot right now where they're even considering or were considering any of these buyouts or these options, they are not in the place that they can stay the way they are. They've got to do,
Yeah.
there's something's got to give. Whether it's, I mean, they've got to dismantle or do something, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
you're
see
right.
them sustaining on their own the way it is right now.
I mean, I don't think Paramount has the money. They've been struggling with money for years. I don't see how they are all of a sudden got $108 billion to buy somebody. So that tells you how much, in my opinion, the influence they'll have from the outside money, that it'll
Yeah.
be Paramount name only.
Yeah. And there's something, I mean, there's clearly obviously something that they truly want in this Paramount for sure. Because after the, Paramount Skydance merger,
Yeah.
there was kind of a lot of question about that. And then, I think to myself, okay, well, what are we missing here? What is it that is the driving force for them to really come back and say, like, oh, no, 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 wait, we're going to offer more. We still
Oh,
want to offer
yeah.
more. Like, what is it? Is it the IPs? What
No.
is it? There's something there that we're not seeing
Yeah,
that
I
is
mean, I
really
I have
gonna.
a theory.
What's the theory?
Well, they already own CBS, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So then if they buy Warner Brothers, now they own CNN,
Oh, well, of course. Yeah.
right? So now you
Mhm.
get to control the narrative for all of your people that funded you.
For sure.
And you're
Yeah. I mean,
controlling
aside
the
from, yeah.
majority, yeah, you're controlling the
Mhm.
majority of public opinion at that point through, miscellaneous propaganda and influence campaigns. So, yeah, I think it's about the soft power.
Yeah. I mean, that's gotta be it, hands
Yeah,
down.
because they want CNN, like, that's part of their package, whereas
Mhm.
Netflix doesn't care about CNN, they care more about, just the Warner Brothers Studios. All the other
Yeah.
stuff, I think, will get spun off on
Mhm.
their own, and then will probably get bought by Paramount anyway.
Yeah. So then what's the big hubbub? Like, let Netflix do what they're
Yeah.
gonna do and let the split happen, you
'Cause
know?
I want it now.
I
I
want it
want my
now. I don't
Yeah.
want anybody else to have it. I want it right now.
It's so wild to me. So the drama continues. I'm gonna check
Yeah.
and see if we have any questions here. All right. Prasada Writings asked, they have a written screenplay where my characters don't have an emotional arc. Like they are who they are from start to end. Do you think it is right or not to have an arc? Isn't that an interesting question?
That's a great question, though. I mean, I think it's a good question.
I had this debate with Malcolm Taylor.
Okay, let's hear
Reese.
it.
Reese and I had this take. I respect his take because I'm a big like you change, right? You change in your arc. That's the point of the arc. Whether you're better or worse, you change. His argument was the Big Lebowski, and I think it was a solid argument.
Oh, I
And he
mean,
says the
ugh,
dude doesn't change. The dude
he
stays the same throughout the whole story. I
you
respect
know,
that argument.
that's a good argument, Reese, man. Come on. They're
I
throwing out the Big
know.
Lebowski, right?
Here is my rebuttal to that. The change in the in the dude is that by the end of the film, he truly knows who he is as a person, whether you choose to change or not. So it's the
Correct.
revelation of you
Mhm.
seeing who you truly are. That is the change. And
Yes.
that's
Yeah,
okay.
and that's okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, but I love that. So, yes, you can have a character that doesn't change as long as their perspective of who they are comes into realization. That's part of the character's change. But that
Yeah.
has to be deliberate. You're purposely writing that character that way. If you just wrote a story where a character doesn't change and you're not trying to make that for the reason of the story,
Mhm.
then you probably just have a flat arc and need to look at redoing that script.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're right. Revelation, and I was going to say even just discovery. If there's some kind of
Sure. Yeah.
discovery of something, or realization of something in their world that affects how they are as a person,
Mhm.
that's still some level of an emotional shift in a way. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Like with the Big Lebowski, at the end, I mean, we know, and the whole premise is, he's the dude, and we understand that, and he understands that. But at the end, I think that it's the experiences he's just gone through that really kind of solidify what makes him the dude is
Mm.
also the influences around in his life, like
Yeah.
Walter, like his friendships, like everything else. And so there is some level of a dynamic shift there. But yeah, at the end of the day, he doesn't necessarily have this huge journey and arc.
Yeah.
But
He
yeah,
doesn't
as long
become
as
the
there's some
chosen
level
one.
of yeah, as long as there's some level of um realization or discovery. I think of a few characters in some TV shows that from start to finish never actually really changed, but the journey and the experiences that they went through, we saw some dynamic shifts in their thought
Yes,
process
for
and kind
sure.
of their behavioral elements, but to their core, they were always still the same. And you can still do that. So yeah, it's just as long as your character has like we see something in the character so that I'm an audience person who doesn't sit in the audience and go, "But they didn't learn anything," or they didn't like what how, where what did this why do I care about this character? You
Yep.
want to give the audience at least one reason to care about this character or have some level of kind of connection with this character. That's what you're aiming for when you work through that.
Yeah. Young adult. I love to quote young adult because it's about a character who's an awful person. And she goes through this arc where she has the opportunity to become a better person and then chooses not to,
And
chooses
chooses
to
not to.
double down on
Mhm.
her selfishness and become even worse. So I mean, you can have so much fun with these arcs um and definitely bring in those nice twists. So yeah, you
Right.
definitely want to change. Looks like Sean said, I'd say the dude was also catalyst for an emotional change in the rest of the characters. Yes, exactly.
Hands
Exactly what
down.
you were, yeah, exactly what you were
Yeah.
hitting on for sure.
Yeah.
Great tip. Thank you.
Even Walter has a shift where, I mean, to me, Walter's the driving force of the whole film. Um, he is the he's the butt of the therefores, and but even Walter has a shift, and so yeah,
Yeah.
the dude's kind of presence and how he responds to things affects everybody else as well. So
Yeah, for sure. All right. Is there any I did get this one thing I wanted to talk about is because I've been getting a lot of emails and messages from people that are trying to send me their scripts or send me their one person wanted to send me an acting reel, and it's they're just sending it out there. They're not doing like proper queries or anything.
oh yeah, good.
And I mean, I'm flattered, but I can't do anything with that. And
Right.
I remember being that person who was doing that, just sending out stuff. Hey, I wrote this script. Do you want to look at it? And it's hard for me to like shine a light on that for people. So I want them to know like you wrote your first script. That's wonderful. You're part of the screenwriting community now. Like get through that, write like 10 more scripts,
Hmm.
really start tweaking it. You wrote your first script, that's great, but look at it like practice. Don't look at it like this is the big one that I get to
Yes.
sell. And I think I'm getting a lot of emails from people doing that. And I remember doing it myself. I was there, in my career. And so looking back at it kind of made me wish, okay, I wish I had somebody tell me like, oh, okay, hey, you're not ready yet.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's my little 2 cents.
Yeah. It's getting what we've been talking about it lately, getting your reps in. Um,
Yes, I like
you know,
that.
you're
That's a good
you're not
point.
gonna I mean, like, football players are gonna have a great game, but that does not define them as a football player. Like, it's the
Yep.
repetition, it's the experience. So, as much as you can, just write even if you're just writing, short scripts, it's practice. It's getting kind of that, like, building on your craft and your skill set down. Um, and your first script may be it might be your big one. It may be great. But you're going to find after you go through that kind of practice element and you're writing more and you're reading more and you're learning more, you're going to go back to that first script and go, wow, this is a hot mess.
Yeah,
And so
for sure.
you'll know that you need to, I got to work on this one. But Yeah, it's just getting your reps in, really.
As somebody who optioned his first script, literally, I'm so glad it didn't get made because I did not know what I was doing. I did not
Mhm.
know, I was not swimming in these waters, I was drowning. And so it all fell through, and I'm like, "Thank God," because I don't think I would have made it this far in my career had I had the first one get optioned and, all of the craziness that would have happened with that. So I want writers, you wrote that first script, that's great, but keep writing and learning more about the industry. Listening to
Yep.
this show can help so that you start to have a tool set and you're not going in there to get taken advantage of. And
Yes.
and don't just cold query everybody that because you wrote a script. You want to really be disciplined with who you're contacting, why you're contacting them, are they the right fit for your project? Do you know what I mean? Like
Oh, yeah.
really do that research, guys.
Yeah, do the research on who you're reaching out to and making those connections with, um, because not that I not that everybody's like this, but there have been stories, and I've heard some pretty horrific stories about, managers or agents or
Oh
reps
yeah.
that have just laid into to writers for contacting them or sending them anything where they're like, "I don't even
Yeah,
do this kind of thing," or "This is not my genre," or like, "What who do you think you are?" Like, you don't
for
wanna put
sure.
yourself in that position. It's just gonna knock you down in terms of your momentum, so
I
really
did
do your
I
research.
did all of that.
I know.
I did all of the worst things you could do. I should not still be doing this because I stepped in it left and right, and I just remember being that desperate writer who had a script that he really liked that sent it out to everybody. I mean, I think I queried every manager and agent in LA at one point with this script, and I mean, I got some notes back and and this thing was trash. Like, it was not ready to be represented. It was not ready
Yeah.
to I think it was like 200 pages. I mean, it was just
Oh,
like,
Jeffrey.
what are you doing? Like, I've done the bottom of the barrel. Like, so that's why when people send me or try and send me their scripts and they query me, I just like, I know exactly where you are. And I feel terrible that like that's where you're at right now, but it will get better. You just have to keep practicing the craft, learning more about it, keep
Mhm.
your wits about you, and don't get taken advantage of. I mean, I got contacted back by a manager who wanted me to pay him $500 a month as a
Yep.
retainer fee.
Mhm.
And I was like seriously considering it until I finally got in touch with like some legit writers who would give me the time of day. And they said, "That's a scam, bro. You
It's
can't
a
do
scam.
that."
Yeah.
I was like, "Well,
No.
thank
Yeah.
God."
Yeah, thank God, because
You know?
you're that desperate that you're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
somebody's
exactly.
gonna
You
turn
think
and
like,
do
"Oh,
this
this
good
is
for
what I
me."
should be doing."
Yep.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
it's like, no, no, there's a whole cottage industry to take your money.
Yeah.
So,
No, don't ever pay anybody. If somebody's asking you to pay them upfront, it's a scam. Do not do
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I'd say network, get your stuff out there, really get good at this craft, and then start, pitching it out there. And, all right, is there anything else?
Yeah, I've got one question for everybody out there so that everybody can spend the holidays fighting about it.
Oh, cool. All right.
It's because I watched it the other night, and it was the first time I've
Sure.
watched it probably in about 20 years. This is the big question, and I just wanna throw it out there, but I just can't do it, you guys. Like, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. It is not a Christmas movie. It was released in July, the year that it came out. It was not made to be a holiday film, even though it takes place at the holidays. But I know somebody's gonna come back and just rip me on this. So, is
I
Die
love
Hard a
this
Christmas
debate.
movie?
I
I love
love
it,
it. I
and I
love
don't
this
think it is.
debate. I think Die Hard is about family. It's during the holidays. It's about a man trying to reconnect with his family. I
They're
can see
blowing up
it.
a building because of
Yeah,
terrorists, yeah.
absolutely, man. There's snow on the ground, there's Christmas lights. It's a holiday film.
It's a holiday film. No, I mean, it's Macaulay Culkin just said in an interview the other day, he was like, "No, I'll die on this hill. It is not a Christmas movie." He's like, "I started a Christmas movie. Home Alone is a Christmas film. Die Hard is not." And I was like, "I'm
That's
with
so
Macaulay
great.
Culkin."
I
So,
love it.
happy holidays, everybody.
All right, Chrissy, have a great Christmas, man.
You
And happy
too.
holidays to everybody. Thanks for stopping by, everyone.